What's going on, family? It's your boy Manuel Godoy. I haven't done a live in a very long time. So I expect for not too many people to be here just because I haven't done a live in a while, working in the background. But today's a pretty damn good day because, I was like, hey, yo, team, we got to get some content out for the investors, because it's been a minute. So I'm excited about today. First of all, check in. Let me know what state you checking in from or which country, because I'm pretty excited to see everybody here. Damn, we already got 100, so it's probably gonna be a pretty good live. You know what I mean? So I'm feeling it. So today we're gonna be talking about a couple of things, right? Uh, we're gonna be talking about. Oh, we got a couple of Delaware people where I'm at right now. What's up, man? So we got a couple of updates we're gonna be doing today, right? First, where are we in the production? That's very important, right? Second, some actual anime stuff, right? So we're going to show you what we've been doing in the actual animes. You're going to see it. You're going to be able to give me some advice and content and all that other crap, right? You're going to be doing all that. And thirdly, we're going to be talking about our new soft cover books. So we actually got some soft cover books for the classroom, but they're also really good gifts because right now we have a special for all my previous investors and patrons where we're giving like 50% off. So I'm gonna be showing you, I'm gonna talk to you about that at the end, right? But for now, we're gonna be going to what is going on with the anime, right? Oh, we got a lot of people over here today, man. Maryland's all up in this place, man. We need to all do a big conference in Maryland, man. We need to do that, right? Or the DC area. The DC area is fine, DMV, but we got to do something because a lot of my fans are in that DMV area, right? And Baltimore and stuff, man. We got to do it, man. We got to do it. There's a hop, skip, and a jump. Hop, skip, and a jump. All right. So Florida's in the house too. I saw a lot of Florida people. Oh, the UK. Good. The UK, man. Save us, UK. Save us from Trump. Can't y'all do something? Can't y'all do something? Can't y'all help a brother out? All right, so check it out. First update. So, when it comes to the Black Sands anime, right? We've done the 10 minutes. We're actually significantly past 10 minutes now for the anime, right? Every now and then they have a little bit of mistakes, but for the most part, we're getting actual finished footage done, right? Finished footage. Is the animation during the non-combat scenes amazing? No. All right. From what I've seen and from what I expect to see, like it's not going to get better. From what I expect to see, the actual like animation as far as like movement is concerned during non-combat scenes, so non-important scenes when it comes to combat, is not going to be the best in the world. All right. Don't expect the best stuff in the universe. All right. Think of it more like what you see in Vinland Saga. Like in Vinland Saga, they spend all of their budget on the fight scenes, and then when people are just marching down the street or walking into a building, they look like trash. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're walking into a building, it sucks. You're like, man, that doesn't look right. But you don't care because when you actually see a combat scene, it's like the most crazy angled, superficial, like all that stuff. So in other words, don't take it too seriously if in a dialogue scene the walking isn't perfection. You know what I mean? So that's something that we sacrificed in order to make the fight scenes better. You'll see it too. You'll actually see it later on in this meeting. You're going to see regular dialogue scenes and then also action scenes. And I wouldn't be too concerned about Asar's voice right now. That is a placeholder, all right? Asar's voice right now is a placeholder. So that's just a full disclosure. We actually have a really big casting for Asar coming up. But until the ink dries, right? I don't announce anything until the ink dries. You know what I mean? So you ain't never gonna call me a liar. That's one thing, right? I'd rather not say anything than ever be caught. Like, well, you said this. I know I did it. Is MVP still doing the fight scenes? He already did the choreography a long time ago, so that's done, right? And all the fights were basically done as far as like what was going to happen in the fights and the combat and the acting. That was all done like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Animating it is what we're doing now, but we've already had all those action scenes in combat already. All right, so and you'll see it too. You'll see it. Let's see what we got here. So basically, that's the situation right now. We're moving into full production. We're moving into full production right now, and that's where things are going to be happening very quickly, very, very quickly, right? We're also getting ready for a trailer. So you're going to see a trailer soon. You're going to have like a teaser trailer coming in the next 3 weeks or so, right? And we have to have that ready for MIPCOM because we want to have a major license sold at MIPCOM, all right? So at MIPCOM, we want to sell an entire region. You know what I mean? That's our biggest concern right now. So I think MIPCOM is in I don't know, I think it's in October or something like that. But basically we're gonna have a trailer for that. It's gonna be amazing, it's gonna look awesome, right? Not no made-up trailer with stuff that's not in the actual movie. It's gonna be in scenes from the movie. All right, so expect to see that. But in the meantime, before we get into looking at actual footage, I would like to get some questions from you guys. So if you guys don't mind, can you please leave some questions in the comment section so I can go and answer your questions? And then once I'm done answering those preliminary questions, and this could be about investments, this could be about anything else, right? And then once we get through those questions, I'm gonna pull up the episodes. You guys can start seeing what's going on with the anime. Let's see. That's the one. Boom. All right. Work on that in a second. I don't know. I keep it like that. I like it like that. Let's see. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. All right. So first question is what's your favorite part so far? While I do love episode 3, I have to say episode 2 was lit, man. Episode 2 was lit, specifically when they got when they fell into the cave. I can't give y'all details though. I can't give y'all details. All I'm gonna say is Dayoon and Asar showed out. They showed out. Can you share on what it takes to get that regional deal and any way we could help? Honestly, there's nothing much you could do to help. The only help that you guys can really do for us is trying to get those sales up, right? Trying to get as many books out the store as possible, just so we show that we have a volume and we have a demand already before the anime drops, right? So they can expect, oh, when the anime drops, it'll be 10 times what they already doing. So if you're not buying books now, you definitely should. And with the deal that I have today, especially with the package, the whole Black Sands soft cover package being $35 for like 7 books, right? At this time, if you got extra expendable income, every single young Black man and woman in your family should have a set. $35 is like a small lunch at Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? Let's see. Any update on the time frame for theater launch? I'm still thinking I'm still thinking February. I'm still thinking February. I don't see anything different right now that's changed that timeline. You know what I mean? We ain't run out of money, so we have the money, and we're basically through our experiment phase. So I really don't see what's going to stop us from wrapping up production at the end of December, you know, and having a grace period so I can get a nice launch in February. But you never know. We don't actually decide when the movie comes out. right? Our partner does. So whoever is our distribution partner from the movie side, they decide when the release is because they have all the movies. Like they have all the movies in the entire like US. So they know when you can fit in your genre and if you have too much competition or not, right? So they try to put you in a spot where you don't have too much competition or things to stop you from getting a good box office for the weekend, right? And that's their choice on when that's supposed to be, right? We have some say, but not much, not on that. When is the next time we can invest? That will be the next movie, man. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If you're not active patrons, you're probably not gonna get in the next one because if this anime does anything at the box office, I'm talking about if we do like the bare minimum at the box office and everybody gets a check, right? Everybody gets a check of more than what they put in, a physical check of more than what they put in. There is no way in hell that everybody in the black community is going to be not invested in this. You know what I mean? Like they're all going to invest in this, not just you and your friends. Every person in the black community is going to be like, holy crap, a black production that actually paid back their investors in a year. They're going to lose their minds. Like that's impossible. That's impossible. No Dr. Umar, nobody's going to pull that crap off, right? It's never happened. So if we pull it off and we got receipts to prove it, everybody's going to be on there. And if you're not a patron, you're not getting in. You know what I mean? So my suggestion is just subscribe to Patreon. We got the next chapter of Black Sands coming out. So you can always read up on that and all the other books, and get into our competitions. We're probably going to have more competitions to this winter for new books, right? Because I want some people to write some new books. So we'll see. But just let you guys know, there will be no more comic books that we're going to fund. We like funding at this point in time. We like funding novels. So YA novels or adult novels is great. All right. But when we say adult novels, we don't mean adult, we don't mean mature audience novels. We just mean novels that go over like hardcore stuff in history or something like that. You know what I mean? So that kind of thing. But definitely not giant orgies and crap like that. That's not what we mean by adult novels. Let's see. Question, who is doing the music? I don't know yet. We do not have music done yet. Did your TikTok page get hacked? Yes, the hell it did. It got hacked about 3 months ago. It got hacked, and TikTok didn't say a damn thing. I sent them emails. I tried to call their number, whatever. They just acted like nothing happened, and it was gone, erased from existence. It don't matter though. TikTok never made me any money in the first place. So Instagram, if I ever lost my Instagram account, I would cry. That would hurt me because my Instagram community, my Facebook community, has literally been my bread and butter for a decade. Like almost all of my organic investors. So that means people that haven't been my customers yet, people that aren't on my email list yet. Almost all of them come from Instagram and Facebook. Like 99% of them. TikTok has never been a friend to me. You know what I mean? So, I ain't missing it. I ain't missing it that I don't have it. You know what I mean? Let's see. The contracts I have on WeFunder have my signature, no other parties. Is that it's some random thing they have in their system. Trust me, your contract is 100% valid. All right. If it's in your portfolio, it's valid. All right. WeFunder is very specific about that. So if it's in your portfolio, it's because they're legally holding us accountable to you, and they're showing a paperwork trail that you are an investor at a certain date in our company, and it went through. You know what I mean? So whether it's signed by one party or two party, that might be just a server side thing. It doesn't really matter. It's in the system and it's locked. It's not going anywhere. Let's see. And And I'm taking like 2 or 3 more questions, and then I'm gonna go. We'll go into this episode, and then we'll continue with questions after that. Someone said, I can see you use digital animation for the movie. Once the series is out, will you use hand-drawn animation? I don't even know what that means, honestly. I have no clue what that means. Because most animators use like Wattpads now. I mean, whatever they call. Yeah, Wattpad. Is a Wattpad? The little pads they used for drawing. You know, I was in Studio Mirror and not a single person had paper in their hands. When I walked around Studio Mirror, looking at all the animators working, ain't nobody had paper in their hands. Not the whole place. So I think there might be a little confusion there as far as like what's digital and what's not, right? It said they're drawing everything by hand, but it's on a computer. You know what I mean? Let's see. If the anime is successful, will you consider anime for other books that are part of your company? Only independently. I would not be a part of it. I would not be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. All right. So, in other words, basically what I'm saying is this. Let's say there was an anime deal for Madagascar, right? Madagascar or Lions Game. I would be selling those rights, right? And having very limited oversight on basically the tone of it. Like I would make sure that it fits our company standard as far as like the content. You know what I mean? Like they can't just add a whole bunch of, nonsense that they like to put in movies, tokenism and stuff. They can't add that into my movies if they want to buy the license. But whatever they make, whatever story they make and everything else, that's going to be up to them because I can't manage it. I can't manage it. I ain't got manpower to manage it. And at the end of the day, I don't want to manage it, right? Black Sands is my baby. And not only is Black Sands my baby, but I'm an actual writer of Black Sands. So I don't have a lot of bandwidth to do much else besides create and sell, right? I create and I sell. That's my whole job as CEO of the Black Sands Entertainment. I facilitate the sale of goods, right? And I create the main breadwinner that happens to be the best-selling good. So that's what I do. I also fund a lot of people, and funding is completely it's not something I have to do like work-wise, right? Like I'm funding Madagascar. I'm funding Lions Game. I don't check on how the story is being written in Lions Game or Madagascar. I assume they're doing the right thing. I don't have time to go and micromanage it. I've trained them up. They did well in their first book. After that, I assume they're going to do well from that point on. And all I got to do is cut checks. And that's kind of how I do it. All right, let's get into this episode. You guys ready? Let me know in the comment section, are you ready for this episode, man? Let's go get into it. We're going to chop it up, okay? Some parts are the animatics. Some parts are the actual finished renders. So let's get to it. Let me pull this off the screen. Boom. Let me put myself at the bottom. Boom. Let's see. I think that'll work. Let me know if you hear it too. Please in the comment sections, let me know if you hear it. But let's start off with the first scene. This is the opening scene of the Black Sands anime. We just want to set the tone for like the vibe of what you're about to expect in the future. So that's kind of what you're going to get this from this part. So let me know what you think. Running now.
Will you stay down and join the countless dead? I brought you here to forge you into a god killer. Save yourself.
Brother, Father wants to meet with us this morning. Hurry up and get ready.
All right, Seth. I'll be there in a sec. Grandfather, I have questions.
Speak.
After these last 5 years, I feel like I am ready to do what must be done, but I worry it will not be enough. If our time overseas has taught me one thing, it is that no one, not even a god killer, can defeat the agents alone.
Then your kin must pull their weight.
Did my parents train them like you did me?
I do not question Geb or Nuit in their methods. My only concern is your ability to do what needs to be done. Do not let them drag you down. If the situation calls for it, you must abandon them to secure victory.
Abandon them?
Enough. You will see what they are capable of in due time. For now, focus on the task at hand and continue to get stronger.
All right, pause. All right, opening scene. Comments, let's go. I'm gonna pull some comments up. Opening scene. So this is the first, basically 5 minutes of the anime. As I mentioned, the voiceovers for Asar are placeholders right now. All right, they're placeholders. They will be switched out for the main actor when they get locked in. All right, so we got some comments. Some people saying, I love it. Hey, if you want to be critical too, please be critical, all right? If you want to be critical about it, if you think that something could be better, please leave it and I'll pull it up on the screen so everybody can see it, okay? I'm not going to be mad. Somebody said, look, Fire, I love the attitude already on display. The tension is perfect. All right. That was something that I really wanted them to do too. I wanted to make sure that Asar had the right facial expressions, right? He can't be looking like a little kid who's unconfident. You know what I mean? He's a confident dude. And that was Michael Jai White, 100%. You know, that guy, he's a gangster. I feel like there are some awkward pauses you don't see in many current anime, but this is Fire, a really good start. Hey, that's good. Hey, remember the cutting room floor. All right, that's more likely going to happen on the cutting room floor, right? When you see those long pauses, they're just going to cut that, right? They're going to be they're going to literally cut the like cut all that little in between stuff. It's a great point because when you see it from a distance, you're like, man, they're taking a long time to get to that next set of dialogue. But we're just going to cut it. You know what I mean? So, but it's still a good lookout. It's a good lookout. And that's probably why there is no music here right now, because they don't want to time everything to music, only to be cutting it up afterwards. Someone said, more darker skin tones, please, when we're talking about my culture. Hey, I feel you on that. Unfortunately, right? You know, we just running with that right now. Most of the time, the color is based off the mood. So I'm a bit. Have y'all seen Arcane? Arcane from League of Legends. If you notice in Arcane, lighting is a huge factor in all color schemes. So in other words, if it's a red hue, right? If the sky is red or orange or whatever, then everybody's going to glow in that way significantly. Not like lightly, but like significantly. So if you're like in a tunnel and it's blue, all the characters are going to be blue as hell, right? And it just sets like a vibe, whereas like the lighting is the literal vibe of everything. So in this scene, as we can see from the background and the lighting, that this is basically a orange lit area, right? It's shining brightly orange. Therefore, almost everyone's going to have that kind of hue in this scene. And in other scenes, it might be a little darker, right? But at the end of the day, one thing we will say is this: that's a black kid. Ain't nobody gonna go to a movie theater and think that Asar is a Middle Eastern kid. You know what I mean? And I think that was very important. You know, sometimes they try to change things up and put like certain noses on them and whatever, so they can be very ambiguous. Like, oh, it could be an Arab, it could be black, it could be white. You never know, right? It's like, nah, that's Asar from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So, but I feel you on that. I do feel you on that. Let's see what else. Do you already have all the voice actors? Yep, all the voice actors are done too. They already did their jobs. You're gonna see, you're gonna see what's his name doing his job in a couple of minutes. You're gonna see, what the hell? Eddie Griffin. Yeah, Eddie Griffin's gonna be doing a whole segment in a second. So, let's see what else. Someone said Asar's face paint is a little too much. Yeah, ain't nothing we can do about that, man. This is the anime style. We're gonna keep it that way. All right. It looks good. I don't know what you're talking about, man. You gotta look different. You gotta look different. It can't be everybody can't be the same. Asar gotta have a face. You know what's the good thing about Asar's paint? Even though it does look like a lot, the best part about Asar's paint is that you can see that without ever seeing his face. You know it's him. So in other words, you could put that on shirts, you could put that on emblems, you could put that on earrings, and you'll know what the hell we're talking about. And it ain't the normal Eye of Heru. It's nothing that's like generic that you see in Egypt. This is a unique look that's exclusive to him. You know what I mean? So, you know, we want to make sure that basically this prints money, right? His has actual tattoos on his face print money because they literally are so unique and so noticeable from a distance that you don't need a face for it. You don't need anything there besides those symbols to be like Asar. You know what I mean? So that's just a marketing thing, man. Let's see. Look, is this supposed to be on the actual story or made up? Completely made up. Completely made up. It is a part of the story. It's canon. All right. So let me be very clear on this. Even though this did not happen in the comics and will never happen in the comics, it is canon because the show will have its own canon. Now, eventually, it's going to collide into the main story of Black Sands. I think when I started Black Sands, I started with a pretty open end. Like it started open, right? There was no real definitive story at the beginning of the like chapter 1 through 3 of Black Sands. The real story of Black Sands began in Manoa when they went on the mission to Manoa and a war broke out. That's the story that's going to happen in season 1. So in season 1, we're going to war. We're going to war, right? And that's going to be very much comic for comic, bar for bar. But as far as like chapter 1 through 4 of Black Sands, as if it never existed. As if it never existed. It wasn't that important. You know what I mean? Now we will make those scenes come back. We will make some of the like details come back from those episodes. But it's not going to happen the way those episodes happened. You know what I mean? So just a heads up on that. Remember, I'm the writer of the movie. All right. So no random dude said this would be a cool story. I needed to make a story in Black Sands that would have a beginning, a middle, and an end in 90 minutes. You know what I mean? Black Sands is not a 90-minute story, right? Where you could begin with not knowing anything at all about Black Sands, and at the end, having a complete understanding of what you just saw, the conclusion at a satisfactory rate, and then being able to walk out feeling satisfied. That's something that I had to create because in the comics, things go on for like 6, 7, 8 chapters, 9 chapters, all for one thing. And you can't possibly have that on screen, right? So I had to make a new story and fit it into the verse. And that's what this one is. All right. Remember, this movie is called Black Sands Legacy of the Magi. All right. Legacy of the Magi. So I'm picking the most black people in the Black Sands verse, right? The Magi. And its story is basically centered on them. So in other words, you have the Egyptians and the Magi taking on ancient gods. What's not to like? Let's see. All right, I'm gonna stop the comments for a second. These comments are amazing. I appreciate you guys for being here and talking and doing all this. Let's keep going, man. Let me find something else on here. I'm gonna go and hide this for a second. I don't want you guys to see what I'm scrolling through, because at the end of the day, I can't show you the whole episode, right? I can't show you the whole episode, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna find some dope scenes. All right, here's a interaction between Asar and Tahuti. All right, so this is your first time seeing Tahuti as is, right? As is. So let's go get it. All right. We're gonna be jumping around all over the place. Let's see. Pop.
Tahuti, old friend, what's the occasion?
Asar. Where are the others?
Probably lazing around somewhere.
We'll track them down and head to the throne room immediately. The Pharaoh demands your presence.
It will be done.
All right. So quick crash down. First of all, how do you feel about how Eddie Griffin sounds as Tahuti? All right. Let's go critique Eddie Griffin. Do we think that Eddie Griffin sounds like a good Tahuti, like somebody who's going to have some bravado? I really didn't think Eddie could sound like that. I wasn't expecting him to make his voice like that. Real talk. Wasn't on my bingo card when he came in. Let me see here. That was important. That was super important. Authoritative, right? Authoritative. Someone said the teleport is cold. Like I said, we don't have to worry about Asar. So I'm gonna say it again. If somebody came in a little late, Asar's voice is a placeholder. Okay, we have the lead voice actor for Asar will be coming in a little bit later. All right. So this is all placeholder right now. Don't worry about it. Right. We'll fix it in the back end. Yeah, Eddie's voice is goated, man. We got some good stuff. Let's see. All right, good. All right, let's keep moving then. Let's keep moving then. Let's see. Let's remove this again. Let me go ahead and find another scene. Mute this. All right, so here we're going to show you some of a action scene. That way you guys can kind of get the idea of what you're doing. And also what you want to do is look at that top left, right? So you see that top left? That is the original animatic, all right? That's the original animatic. So you got a TC Carson clips. He's in episode 2. Most of his stuff is in episode 2, all right? So don't be worrying about TC until episode 2 and episode 3 as well. He's heavy in episode 2 and episode 3. But he's not. He only does like maybe like a couple of minutes in episode 1, right at the very end. You know what I mean? Okay, let's go through it. Let's check this scene out, and then I'll cut it off. I don't want you to see the whole fight scene, but I'm gonna show you some of the fight scene and some of the lead up. And the thing about it is, it's not fully rendered out yet. So there's no color and stuff like that when the fights start happening, but at least you could see what's going on. you could see what we're going to do. You know what I mean?
Create a dust cloud to obscure his vision and don't let up. Aset, you can't control your powers yet, but try to use wind gusts to keep our enemies away.
I can use my shape-shifting to throw them off.
Are you going to hide forever?
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. We've got to work on that.
You will not interfere! She's not physically strong. I don't need to strike her with my blades. A strong kick should be enough! Damn it!
He's done.
Those punks are pretty good. Leave him to me. I am in no position to argue. You have your own problems. I owe you for that little trick you pulled.
All right. The other part's not animated yet. So, now that you've seen some of the combat, and obviously it's still a little rough. It's still a little rough. We haven't have our Korean team take over yet. So what happened is that is the best that our Indian team can do, right? So the best our Indian team can do. The Korean team is significantly better, right? Because they do anime for a living. So the Korean team is going to make that a lot cleaner than what it already is, right? But you kind of understand what we're doing when it comes to action. And let me be very clear on this. Episode 1 is not nearly as awesome as episode 2 and 3, right? So there we go. Let's see. So let's get your comments and then we'll move on. All right. I think I have one more scene to show you. I want to show you a memory sequence because I think when I show you a memory sequence, you'll kind of know what we're going to do when we're doing stuff that's not actual animation, but it's like a memory, right? So this is our thing. Also, just a heads up, the voice actor for Montu, is the original voice actor for Epidamok in the Black Sands YouTube series. So in other words, a person who's been a voice actor for us for years, right? Who was an amateur and then eventually became like a kind of pro or whatever, eventually landed a job in the actual Black Sands anime alongside people like Michael J. White, Eddie Griffin, right? T.C. Carson, Deborah Wilson, right? So, in all honesty, man, when you stick with Black Sands, right? I always reward loyalty. So when they shot their shot, man, they said they're gonna compete, and I made sure they got onto the cast. You know what I mean? And by the way, that's Malcolm Ray. So if you don't know who it is Malcolm X Ray. That's the voice actor who has that position for Montu, right? And he's been with us since forever. Will the fights be bloody? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is a T for teens type anime. You know what I mean? There will be blood. There won't be gore, but there will be blood. All right, so let me go and find that last scene for you guys, and then we'll talk about the books and what's going on with the books right now, and then we'll close it out. And hopefully I can get a whole bunch of people subscribing on Patreon, man. A lot of people kind of let their patrons slide, right? But I kind of need that to keep making like all this cool content, like comics and stuff like that. So if we could just re-up a little bit, right? I know people, it always like auto cancels sometimes. So just keep up with that, especially if you didn't mean to cancel and it just did it itself. Just look into it. All right, let me go and find that scene I'm talking about. Here we go. Okay. All right, I got the scene. Let's go and pull it up. All right.
You're here for a special mission. A test to determine your value to the kingdom. There is an artifact deep in the desert I require. You will get it for me.
I accept your challenge.
Calm yourself, boy. I haven't given the details.
During the interrogation, I have taken the memories of the mercenary. His team paid a terrible price. These mortals decided to search for a dangerous artifact. One that could tear human civilization apart if it falls into the wrong hands. Before I created the Ancients, there were 3 great gods who rivaled my power. After their deaths, their corpses survived, giving them a form of immortality. They possess anyone who touches them, and the weak-willed can be completely taken over by them. Ra holds the soul of the Watcher, and Queen Amisemi holds the Devourer. I thought the Destroyer had finally met its end, but that is not the case.
Retrieve the Destroyer. That is my command.
Any advice, Grandfather?
Do not touch it, ever. If you succeed, you will have proven yourself a god killer.
All right, and let me go and find that scene with T.C. Carson real quick, just so you guys kind of like catch the vibe. Let me see here. I purposely started in the middle of nowhere, so there's no.
I will not repeat myself.
A god killer. Interesting.
Reveal yourself.
I am Deun, Elder of the Magi. And you are not welcome here.
There we go. Kratos. Kratos. Yeah, I'm too crazy, man. Kratos, and you are not welcome here. Too funny, man. Too funny. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, all right, final feedback. So that's all I'm sharing today. I have more, but I'm not sharing it because I can't give you the whole episodes, right? Can't give you the whole episodes. But at least you know that we're all over the place, right? We're doing animation. We got all the voice acting in for the most part. We're deep into production, right? You just know that everything's basically done. And now it's just manpower, right? It's like we got to hire 100 animators, right? We already got 30, 40 animators working on it. So it's like that's what we're doing. We're in production. There ain't no fake news, right? Ain't no fake news. So please give your final thoughts on what you've seen so far and everything else, and then I'll take some questions for about 5 minutes, and then we'll go talk about the new soft cover books, right? Because we got soft covers now. These are not hardcover books; they're soft covers. And normally the soft covers are about $15, but I'm actually selling them for like $5 right now, right? Only because I got really pissed off by all the freaking like black censorship going on in the government, right? And me personally, I think every black kid in America should have a set of Black Sands. So I ain't making much profit on a $5 freaking $2 printed book, right? Book costs like $2 to print, and I'm selling it for $5. I ain't getting no markup really, right? So, but at the end of the day, I feel like, we got to get books in people's hands, right? And if I sell high volume, then I still do good. I still do good so long as I sell high value. So we're going to be talking about that. But first, I want to hear your feedback. All right. So someone said Eddie and Michael's voice is on point. They are. They're amazing. They are amazing. They killed their roles, man. And it's nice to be able to rely on people. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember there was certain voice actors I was talking to, and I swear to God, back and forth for like 2 or 3 months before they make a decision on whether they want to work on it or not. And you're like, yo, if you don't want to do it, just say that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, give me the script. Oh, I want to look at this first. Oh, my schedule's a little tight. I'd come back in 3 weeks and then I can. Nah, man, just say whether you want to do it or not. So it's good to have people who are serious about it and then get it done. They just go into the studio and they get it done. You know what I mean? So I was super excited about that. Someone said, look good. I came in late. Has the screen date been pushed back? No. So we're still looking at February. Not sure though, right? But nothing's really changed enough that it wouldn't be February. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Asar's paint is sick. Absolutely, man. That's why I think we have so much merch of Asar. Like Asar's merch is going to be nuts. And look and think about the asymmetric Seth shoes. Think about the shoes that are asymmetric because it has a pattern like his face, right? So it's like one side has like a real funky pattern, the other side is just clean, right? And think about how dope of a shoe that would be, just like the Seth shoes and stuff like that. Let's see. What platform will it be on? No platform. We're gonna be in movie theaters, man. Movie theaters first. First thing you're ever gonna see it on is movie theaters, and hopefully we make $50 million at least. I want to make at least $50 million so everybody can make 3 to 4 times their investment amount. You might make way more than 3 or 4 times at 50 million. I'm not sure, right? But I think that's a hell of a profitable output. If we get to 50 million at the box office, we all made big money. Yeah, if we make 100 million, people gonna be putting 25% down on their house. All right, there's gonna be that's a big ass check if we get to 100 million. Because you gotta think of this too, right? Like our break-even point is about $15 million, right? Our break-even point is 15 million. But after that, basically our multiple is 5 million, right? So our multiple is 5 million. Our break-even is 15 million because it costs a lot of money to sell tickets, to promote tickets, and everything else. So you got to get way more than your production cost in order to break even. But once you get to that point, anything past that point, you're looking at every 5 million of profit is basically 1x, right? So when we say like $50 million, right? That's a lot of X's. That's a lot of X's, like 5, 6x, something like that, right? However, we get to like 100 million, that's when you're looking at like 16x, 17x, right? You know what I'm saying? And God forbid, if we're lucky enough to do some stuff like The Sound of Freedom or something like that. Remember that movie, The Sound of Freedom, that conservative movie about like girls being kidnapped or something like that, sex trafficked and stuff? They had that movie. It was independent, right? It was independent, and it somehow made like $200 million at the box office. If we did something like that, first of all, if we did something like $200 million at the box office, we have some investors who basically put 50,000 and got 1%, right? So they got double their return, right? So that means they got like 100,000, and you're basically looking at a minimum of like 35 times your investment. That means that those investors who did the 50,000 and got basically 100,000 worth of shares in this movie, they're going to get like $3.5 million. And somebody who invested $10,000, right? You invested $10,000 and we hit $200 million at the box office, you're going to get like $300,000 for a $10,000 investment. And there are a lot of those. There are a lot of people right now who invested $10,000 or $5,000 or something like that. Like a lot. Like there's probably like 100 people in total who've made investments that made them gold card members. And I'm telling you, if we somehow break out, if the internet goes crazy enough where we get 200 million at the box office, right? People will be making like 30 times their freaking investment. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Somebody said you're making children sure our children get their knowledge and history. That is huge. That is huge because right now, especially at this time, where they're building fucking statues of Charlie Kirk at HBCUs, or they're gonna pull your funding. These people are out of control. They are out of control of their blatant racism in America right now. So we gotta be able to get our black people to understand that they're important. Right? They've always been important in history and in the future. So, I'm doing my part. My part is to worry about the history. You know what I mean? I'm not the future guy. I'm the history guy. I'm the guy that's going to be focusing on history before slavery. That's my bread and butter, and I'm going to make sure that happens for every single black kid in America and beyond. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, America is a crazy place. That's why we got to do stuff like this. That's why we got to support our own. And that's why we got to make sure that whatever's working, we support. See, a lot of times we support everything, and we really can't do that. We need to support the people who actually can pull it off. You know what I mean? So some people just got ideas, but they ain't ever going to come off the ground because they ain't got no real way to do it. We got to go with the people who's already been doing stuff for a while. I've made a couple of investments in the last year or so for some companies that I know for a fact know what the hell they're doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, give them a chance. You know what I mean? So that's what we got to do. We got to find out who can actually pull things off in our community and then give them the funds to do it. Right. And hopefully that's going to build our own infrastructure so we don't have to worry about some orange lunatic, right, cutting all of the programs and funding and everything else that we have in our community. You know what I mean? Let's see. Is there a reason the kids look older? Great question. Great question. They are older. They are older than the Black Sands anime. So if you ever looked in the Black Sands anime, right, I'm going to show you something. So this is a great question. I'm going to show you something. So this is Asar in chapter 1. Look at him. Look at Asar. Chapter 1. Not much time happens in the comics. So in chapter 1, this is what Asar looks like. Little Asar. Kid Asar, right? Let me see. We get a good shot of him. You guys can come down. Just don't make no noise, okay? I'll make sure I get a good shot of Asar standing. So you understand that's not little Asar like what it was in chapter 1 of Black Sands. Here we go. So you see right there? That's Asar in like chapter 16 or something like that, right? Chapter 16 of Black Sands, that's Asar. As you can see, he looks older, right? In the comics, right? He looks more like what he looks like. He's not as swole in the comics as he is in the movie, right? But at the end of the day, he's older. That's the real age of Asar. At the beginning of Black Sands, remember, it was called Kids to Kings, and we had made it for a much younger audience. That's what we made it for. We made it for a younger audience, right? But then we realized that everybody loved Black Sands, including adults. And teenagers were the ones who loved it the most. So we just aged it up to where it was supposed to be. Right? Took the baby wheels off. Took the baby wheels off the comics and started going into a little bit more mature themes, right? And just went forward. So while they're older in the anime, right, about 16 years old, they were always intended to be that age in the comics already, right? So that was a great question. Let's see. Let's see. Once the anime is successful, what's the plan to keep the comics and anime running? Okay, once the anime is successful, what's the plan to keep both the comic and anime running simultaneously? Well, in order for the anime to catch up to the comics, it's going to take 2 years. It's going to take 2 years for the anime to catch up to the comics. The comics season 1 is going to end before this movie comes out. You guys can come down. Just don't put the noise on. Kids. Did you hear me? Well, whatever. They want to do their little Roblox thing, whatever. But the whole point is, like, that's how it works. That's how it works right now. So the anime is going to happen no matter what. And it's going to have like a full season. It's going to take 2 years to come out. It's like 24 episodes. And by those 24 episodes, the full first season of Black Sands, the comics, is going to be covered. In the meantime, I'm still writing the comics. So we're probably going to be way past season 2 of Black Sands by the time season 1 ends in the anime. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how it's going to work. That's how it's going to work. It's just a long timetable, right? You're going to see new episodes every 6 months. Every 6 months, you're going to see like a batch of episodes coming out on TV, and then a movie, and then another batch of episodes, kind of like how Demon Slayer does it. You know how Demon Slayer does season, movie, season, movie, season, movie. That's how they do it. That's how we're going to be doing it. Let's see. Someone said I missed the showcase. Will be available to rewatch. Yeah. This episode is going to be this interview is going to be on there. All right. So just go to my YouTube channel. It'll be there, and like right after this thing is over, it'll be there. Okay. Let me take some time to talk about the comics. So right now we have these right here, right? The Black Sands comics, and the soft cover books are specifically for gifts. All right. We all know most of y'all own the hardcover books. Most of y'all own the hardcovers. But the soft cover specifically is for gifts and classrooms, right? So if you're like homeschooling or doing something like that, you kind of want to have soft cover books because you got to order like 10 sets or something like that. So we basically made these for classrooms and for kids like that. And basically what I'm saying to you is this: we're giving away these books for like 50% off, right? So right now, and I'm about to share the screen so you can see it, right? As you see right here, this is our main bundle, right? You go to blacksands.com, that's the first thing you're going to see is the main bundle of Black Sands. Right now, the price for the hardcover series, that's 6 hardcover books and this one for $110, right? However, if you click the paperback button, press the paperback button, now it's $70, right? So it's $70. But if you use my code, let's say you use the code, whatever, I'm there, I want to check out. So I'm looking to check out. How do I check out? Blah, 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 whatever, right? Let's just say I don't know, what the hell? Where's the codes at? Where did I put my code at? There it is. Here's my discount code. And I put into the code BIG50. And I say apply. Now look at that. So you can get the entire Black Sands series. That is 5 soft cover comics, right? 5 of these soft cover comics. The hardcover of the first Pharaoh, that's the first Pharaoh book, right? The first Pharaoh hardcover version and Titan Wars for $35 freaking dollars. Do you understand what I'm saying? $35. And all you gotta do is put in the code in BIG50 before the end of Friday, right? Because like Saturday morning or something like that, the discount code ends, right? So we've already sold, I think, 300 books since Monday, right? We already sold 300 books since Monday. Personally, I'd like to sell 1,000 books, right? And it doesn't really take that much to sell 1,000 books because every time someone orders, it's 7 books, right? So 7, if you get like 50 orders, right? 7 times 50, that's 350 books right there, right? So you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm practically giving them away, right? And this is a great time if you have anybody important in your life, like family, friends, whatever, who don't have, if you're concerned that they're not getting enough history in their life, or they're just not having enough Black heroes in their life, right? Then you definitely want to grab a set, an extra set to go and just give to them, right? No strings attached. Just, hey, here's some dope comics that I got for you. You know what I mean? If anybody has any questions on this stuff, please let me know right now in the comment section, and I'll yeah, BIG50 is the code. BIG50 is the code. How much to get signed copies? I ain't signing copies right now. Well, I only do signed copies during the holidays, right? During the holiday, I do signed copies, but any other time, it's a lot of work. Yeah, BIG50 is the code. In fact, if you get it right now, let me know in the comment section that you ordered it, and I'll give you a shout out. Okay. Oh, I feel you, Burkina. Thank you so much. You know what's crazy? There are so many grandparents who absolutely love Black Sands. You would think, and this is the funniest part about the whole Black Sands legacy, right? The whole Black Sands legacy is this. I have a much older audience than a comic book creator ever should. You know what I mean? Like most comic book creators you ever seen on Instagram or in New York Comic Con or stuff like that, like their entire audience is young, like super young, right? Die-hard comic book fans. Most of my fans, believe it or not, like 80% of my fans never read comics. They read Black Sands, they don't read comics. They're not die-hard comic book fans, they're not collectors, but they get comics for the whole family. It's because I don't focus on trying to entertain fans of comic books, right? I don't try that. I don't try to go out my way to make everybody feel good. I focus on history before slavery, right? Great morals and principles for our youth, right? And historical accuracy. That's what I do. I try to focus on that. That's why you never see me doing, stuff that is I never do superhero stuff because I don't care about trends. All I care about is making edutainment for my community. And that's why my audience is way older than other people in this genre's audiences. And that's also the reason why I could raise millions of dollars, right? Because my fans are lawyers. My fans are doctors. My fans retired from 25, 30 years of military service. My fans are established family members, right? And people who have multiple kids or grandkids, and they've already been through the life, and they're done. They're ready to invest in the next generation. That's my fan base. That's the people I represent, right? And because I represent them, and because I represent them so unapologetically to the point where I actually piss off everyone else, that's why they, and when I say they, I mean you, right? They are super loyal, right? They're loyal because they know I literally burn bridges every day in order to make sure that my core audience, which is Black parents, Black educators, Black teachers, right? I make sure that that audience is absolutely served by my content. And if it pisses people off, what I say and what I do, I don't care, because I know who I'm doing it for, right? And I know that they're going to love what I'm doing, period. By the way, this is what you're looking for. If you're looking for it on the website, you're just looking for this right here. The Black Sands comic book series paperback. Hit the paperback button so you can get basically the entire collection for $35. Okay? Now, last questions. Please give me your last questions for tonight. And we can wrap this up, baby. Peter Martin, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, boss. Are you never going to animate your series anymore? What are you talking about, Kino? Did you just get here? Whatever you do, Kino, make sure when this meeting is over to go back through the meeting, okay? Just go back through the meeting, and there's a whole section in the middle of this meeting where we go through episode 1 of Black Sands. Okay? You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Let's see. What happened to the winners of the last writing competition? 2 of the novels are done. 2 of the novels are done, and 2 of them are being edited to be done. But they're done. All right? They'll probably be out before Christmas. Okay? They'll probably be physically out before Christmas and digitally out before then. Good question. Kaylee got 3 copies. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hey, who are you getting them for? You got any particular people in mind? You don't got to say their names, but say 2 of my cousins or my grandkid or the neighbor, something like that. You know what I mean? Carrie Phillips, 2 sets. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. NJ, appreciate you. Let's see. So Hobby Brown says, you said you guys are doing novels. Yes, the next competitions are going to be novels. Are we allowed to submit our novels to you? No. You're allowed to submit a novel specifically on the topic from which I pick. So in other words, how my competitions work is I come with a grand idea and I give you parameters on what you need to submit for this grand idea, right? And then once we narrow it down to a few people who we think are qualified to do it, we have a smaller competition. So a big competition on the broader idea, smaller competition on like one chapter or something like that, where they write something and we see who's the most compelling writer, right? And then we're gonna fund that person to write their series, right? They'll probably get paid, a good amount of money to make their novel and stuff like that, and we'll fund everything. We'll have the entire team ready for them. That's usually how we do it. But it's always a brand new idea. It's never an idea you already had. I never work with anyone who has an idea already. The reason for that is very simple. People who come with their own ideas think they're better, they have too much control, in other words. They don't like giving up control, right? If you come with something that you've been working on for 3 or 4 years, do you want somebody to tell you how to write it? Do you want somebody to tell you that this needs to go there or this character needs to get erased? They're in the way? Hell no, right? I wouldn't accept that. But if I got commissioned for writing something and it's brand new, I don't care. I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad you're giving me the opportunity to write something for you. So I am 100% fine with any changes that need to be made, right? With any lengths that you say it has to be this long, not this long, right? Because it's a brand new idea. I'm not committed to it. I haven't been working on it for 5 years. You know what I mean? So that's why we do completely new slate. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, just let you know, if this is the first time you've ever been on Patreon, go and download the entire catalog, all right? So there's a catalog, a digital catalog. It's on like the first post. It's sticky at the top. And it has all of our comics from our entire publishing house. So it's like 60 to 70 comic books, all right? You can download all that on day one. So download it, all right? $5 gets you like $200 worth of comics, digital. Mary picked up 2 more sets. Thank you so much. How long is the sale? How long is the sale? The sale is going to be till Saturday morning, okay? So the Goat Man, if you're getting it for your classroom though, just email me, please, all right? I think you're on my email list. I think everybody here who got this thing most likely is in my email list. If you're not in my email list, go to blacksands.com and subscribe to the email list, all right? But email me, right? Respond to one of those things and say, hey, I'm a teacher. I plan on getting a classroom sets for my students, right? I want 10 sets. How much can you get it for me? And I'll give you a big ass discount, just like they would if you were ordering from Baker and Taylor or wherever, right? So I got you, okay? And you don't have to worry about a timetable on that. Just whenever you're ready, email us. We'll set up the order for you. We'll give you a custom discount code, and then you can order those books for your students. I might even be able to sign them. I'm not sure, but I might be able to, okay? If I have them available, if I have them here, I'll sign them since you're getting it for the classroom, okay? Hey, Marvin Reyna, appreciate you. Let's see. Matri, thank you. Do you have any influencers that can help promote the anime? We have a list, but we're going to build it much more. So first of all, I'm not going to have too many anime influencers, all right? If they're not into social justice, they're not going to be an influencer in the Black Sands anime. I hate to say it, right? So if they're just straight anime, they're most likely not going to be an influencer. I'm going to be hiring for influencers, social justice, social influence, you know, people who Black economics, these type of influencers are the people that I'm going to be focusing on the most, right? I'm not going to really be focusing on people who are like into anime and geekdom and stuff like that. It's just the way I'm going to do it. Also, I'll probably work with some politicians. I'm sure there's plenty of politicians who would love to be a part of this in some form or fashion, especially with a certain audience. And obviously actors and fighters. Believe it or not, I know a lot of fighters. I know a lot of professional fighters. So athletes, fighters, movie stars and stuff, they a lot of them follow me. And we could just bring them in to our network of influencers, right? We cut that check so they can promote us. But, you know, they big names in our community. You know what I mean? Michael Jai by himself is a AAA influencer for our community. For our community. So okay, someone said I can't say that name though. I emailed you regarding investor cards, but I haven't received a response. Email me again. Email me again. I probably didn't see it. I probably didn't see it. Where is the link to purchase the books? I'm gonna put the link in the comment section right now, just so you guys can just click it if you feel like it. But it's just blacksands.com. Blacksands.com and use code BIG50. It's also in your email. So if you got an email to come to this meeting in the first place, at the bottom of that email, there's a link to our store. Okay. Let me see. And by the way, if anybody wants to check out, you can. I got out of this meeting. Go right ahead. Right now, I'm just hanging out with you guys. All right. I'm hanging out with you guys, answering all your questions, keeping the hype up. I'm super excited about this. This was an amazing meeting. I love the feedback you guys gave on the characters. I love the feedback you guys gave on the characters. That was huge. You know, we had some really good feedback for things. And I'm glad that you guys actually liked the look of it. Like, you know, the finished shots, not the shots that only had like the flat colors, but the finished shots look so good, man. The finished shots look good. Actually, I got some more finished shots over here. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me change this. Clink. Let's see if I can. Cause I got some more finished shots. I just got them in earlier. They were showing me some new ones. They're so beautiful, man. Oh yeah, we saw this. We saw this one. We saw that one right there, but we didn't see it in actual finished color. So let's see.
You must defeat the greatest of my warriors.
I've been waiting for this.
Prepare yourselves.
Yeah. I like the look of that, man. I like it. I like the colors, man. Y'all be mad at me and stuff, but I love my colors, man. Imagine that on big screen. Imagine that on the big screen, man. Imagine if we got money for IMAX. You never know. They might do IMAX for it. You never know. You never know. I don't know. But I don't know if we going to get IMAX. But, you know, bottom line is I like the colors. I like the colors. How do I get the discount code? Big 50. Let me see if I can put a banner up. Sorry, I'll put a banner up for you guys, okay? Let's see. Edit. Discount code is Big 50. And it's at the bottom of the screen. So when you go to checkout, you have to go scroll to the bottom in order to put your discount on it. All right. There we go. Discount code is Big 50. Hey, Mr. Zito said, I'd rather pay full price. Hey, do what you want to do. But all I'm saying is this, man. I just love the support, man. And I love the fact that these kids get it. You know, I'd rather they just get it. You know, I'm practically giving them away at 35. But, you know, I'm just happy that, you know, value matters, right? Sometimes you can get away with value instead of profit, right? So normally my profit margin is pretty good, you know, really big profit margin. But if you're doing super high volume, you could have a very narrow profit margin. But because you're selling so many books, it don't really matter, right? So I'm happy either way. Thank you guys so much. We got 1,000 reviews on Amazon now. That's dope, right? 1,000 reviews, 5 stars. Hey, Soto, appreciate you too, man. Do they have to be famous influencers? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no, they don't gotta be famous. But define famous though, because I do feel established is not famous. You know what I mean? Like Ernest Krim. Ernest Krim, he always talking about social justice. I love him. He's one of my people. I work with him all the time, right? So Chaka Bars, not exactly famous, but I love him. You know what I'm saying? So what do we really mean by famous? You know what I mean? I said there's plenty of people who have like a couple 100,000 followers on Instagram or TikTok or whatever who are going to be working with us. You know what I mean? So long as they have a really dedicated audience, right? And I don't really mean like they don't have to have hundreds of thousands of followers. They can have like 20,000 so long as they get massive engagement in all of their posts, right? Or they get engagement in their podcast or whatever. That's good enough for me. You know what I mean? Did you already play some anime? Yeah, make sure to replay this episode, all right? This meeting was freaking amazing. All right, this meeting was amazing. So make sure that you are in, that you rewind it and watch all the stuff that we just did. He said, I got the hardcover. I want my grandchildren to have this. That discount code works. Absolutely. Appreciate you. New phone. How can I get all the digital content? Subscribe on Patreon. It's the first post on Patreon. If you subscribe on Patreon, all you got to do is pay like $5. Or you join us for a year, whatever you want. But the collection itself is like 60 to 70 books. And it's right away. You can download all of them on the first day. Okay? Hey, I would love to be on Roland Martin, but I think Roland Martin got a little beef with us. I don't know what it is, but I've tried paying him. I tried paying their network, going through the system. I tried everything I could to get promoted on Roland Martin. They never responded. And I'm like, damn, man, you turning down 10 bands? Y'all turning down 10 bands? I said, okay. I don't know what's going on there, right? Maybe I'm too hotep. Sometimes people think that too. I'm like, oh, he's too hotep. Like, I'm not even hotep at all. You know what I'm saying? I believe all of us from West Africa, the majority of us, but I'm not gonna not claim Egypt as a part of African history. You must be out your damn mind if you think I'm not gonna claim it. Why do British people get to claim Greece? Have you ever seen a Greek person in your life? Greek people are damn near Arab. Greek people have more in common with Iranians, right, than they do to British. He said, you know what I'm saying? He said, you must be out your damn mind if you think I'm not going to claim the Egyptians. They black. If the Nubians are black, then the Egyptians are black. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Hold up. I don't see the discount code section. Remember, you got to scroll down to the bottom of checkout. And at the bottom, it's going to say, insert your discount code or whatever. All right. And once you do that, you'll be able to get it. It won't be right at the top. It'll be at the very bottom. Nicole Brooks, appreciate you. Yeah, it looks like one of the characters. So if you are brand new to Black Sands, one of our characters, our main characters, is Seth. And his whole story revolves around vitiligo. So we didn't have much time to touch on that in the episode as far as how deep that story goes. Because the story is more about Asar and who he is in the movie. But as we get into season 1, we're going to go deep dive into the vitiligo situation and what that does for him as a prince. Right, so it actually has a really deep story. If you read the Black Sands comics, so even if you get it for your kids, read it first. Read it first before you give it to your kids. You're gonna see some amazing backstory about Seth and his situation with vitiligo. How the people of Kemet think he's cursed, right? Because he has all the skin condition. Meanwhile, the military people in Kemet, they respect him because of like his actions that he's done in his life. Right. And because he made a couple of really good friends in high places in the military, they've basically spread rumors where all the things talked about Seth was lies. So basically, every single soldier in Kemet thinks that Seth is like, you know, an ordained holy man and stuff like that, like really like high, even though the regular people almost run away from him because they think he's cursed. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy thing. At first, everybody thought he was cursed. Everybody thought Seth was cursed, and he hated life. He hated life like crazy, you know. And then eventually, the right people found out about who he really is and what he really is about, and they started changing the culture of the military to support Seth. So Seth has a lot of military support. Beat Azuma. Car Station got 3 sets. Appreciate you, baby. Yo, I'm just hanging out, baby. Everybody, just let you guys know, I'm saying absolutely nothing important right now. I'm just hanging out with you guys. And I appreciate you guys so much for supporting me. I see people still buying books, so I appreciate y'all for doing that. Man, and any questions I see, I try to answer them, okay? For adult novels, will you be looking for that adult novels you will be looking for, would something about religion fantasy work? Religion is fine because most cultures in the past had a dominant religion, right? So in other words, like Lion's Game, it's a martial arts tournament in ancient Mali, right? But how the hell do you tell a story in ancient Mali and not basically talk about Muslim culture, right? How do you not talk about Muslim culture in a Muslim empire? Right? So you gotta go deep. You can't just go shallow like, oh, it's just a martial arts term. No, you gotta go deep. You gotta start talking about principles and stuff like that. You gotta talk about history. Even Baki talks about Chinese history and Japanese history. They don't just start breaking people's necks out of nowhere. They say back in 1976, when the what's it called was found of a tradition from 1400s of China. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta break it out. You gotta break it out. So all I'm saying is, you know, so long as it's connected culturally to whatever time period we're working on, that's cool. That's great. That's content. Let's see. Good night. Appreciate you. Let's see. When is the investor watch party going to happen? You're the first person to ask this question. This is a really good question too. So we will have that private showing before the movie comes out. So probably about 2 weeks before, right? And it's going to be in the DMV area, most likely. All right. So if you're one of those people who got the VIP tickets, it's going to be in the DMV area. We're going to give you enough time so you can book your tickets and everything else, your flights or whatever you got to do to get there. But it's going to be in the DMV area, most likely. You know what I mean? Let's see. Someone said, I want dolls. Hey, if somebody wants to make dolls, I'm not going to stop them. You know what I'm saying? As long as they pay that license. As long as they pay that license, they can go make all the plushies they want. Oh, okay. So this is a good question about the actual company. This is what I'm going to do, right? When it comes to Black Sands Entertainment and people offloading their shares, right? They want to offload their shares. Since it's technically not illegal, right? So I don't know about this, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Since it's technically not illegal because, you know, America is like corrupt as shit, right? Right? We might do stock buybacks. You know what I mean? We might do stock buybacks. You know, if somebody wants to buy back at an inflated rate, like we'll pick a higher rate than what it's currently valued at, right? And people want to just sell their shares back, we might do that, right? If things go well, we don't want everybody in the universe to own our shares, right? We kind of want to keep it close knit so that we could just open on the market at like $1 billion one day. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to rush there. But if people want to offload and take a profit, right? I might just be like, I'll just buy back. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if we make a lot of profits with this anime, right, I'm gonna be paying a crap load of taxes anyway, right? It's like, so better pay you guys than to pay the government, right? You just do better pay you guys than the government, right? Go and write that off. Yeah, buybacks. Sorry, buybacks. So that's an option. That's an option for early exiters, right? If the anime does well. If the anime does well, we're gonna have a lot of room there. We'll do that. I don't want to rush into the market until it's so catastrophically big that we can like go hyper viral and get a couple $1 billion in market cap. You know what I'm saying? And we're already close. Think about it this way, right? Right now, the company is strongly valued at $40 million. Let's say we do $50 million at the box office. Does that mean that our company is valued at $50 million? Hell no. It's probably valued at close to $100 million at that point. Why? Because we just printed $50 million with 1 year's production. 1 year's production got us $50 million with only the capacity of what we had. We only spent like $5 million to do it. So what does that say? It means that if we had more capital, we could make more money. Therefore, our value is based almost exclusively in our access to money. Whereas other companies, they have to sell a tire. I have to sell a tire. I have to keep selling tires, right? Us is like, we just simply give you our ridiculously lucrative idea, and then you make hundreds of millions of dollars for us. And we don't have to do anything because our property is awesome. Marvel does that all the time, right? They have other people make their stuff. And they just pay them straight up. They pay them up front, and then they pay them on the back end. And that's going to be us, right? That's why the value is so overinflated, because it's like they're printing money. Like they don't have to actually do anything to make money. And that's what we hope we can get Black Sands to, where basically the company can make money without actually doing anything. Other people will do stuff, and we'll tell them what to do. We'll be like, you're going to do this. But we're going to be making a lot of money while other people are investing their money to actually like create it. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got 1,000 reviews on Amazon, man. Go check it out. Maria Carter. So if you're getting 55 instead of 35, that's because you have the hardcover bundle. All right. So just go back, click the paperback, and then it'll be 35. So the hardcovers are all hardcover, like hardcover books. They're heavy and expensive. So that's why it's 55 instead of 35, because you're splitting 110 to 55. The other one's 70 to 35. Art Coleman just got the bundle. Thank you. Appreciate you. Did my friend Carl Reed contact you about doing an interview on my channel? He hasn't talked to me about it, but you know, I talk to Carl all the time. He's my partner in this. So yeah, just tell him to send it over again. Okay. Thank you, Lamont. Appreciate you. Yeah, this guy's named Lamont. How long after the release of the anime will release the opening the company at the stock market able to sell shares? Yeah, it's probably not going to happen right away unless we go crazy. If we get like $200-300 million in the box office, I mean, why not? Why not go into the stock market for a little bit, like at least a year, just so people can off sell, right? But I'm not in a rush. You know what I mean? I don't want to lose control of nothing. I want to be like Chick-fil-A, right? Closely held company, right? You don't tell Chick-fil-A nothing. They do whatever the hell they want. They don't give a damn about what the directors say. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Black Sands is gonna be. Never forget, there are a lot of billionaires out there in the world who want to do nothing but destroy black businesses that are too pro-black. That's their whole objective. They have hundreds of billions of dollars. They'll bet against you and say it's an inflated company. The company's inflated. They're not really as profitable. It's going to be everybody's going to lose their money. And then everybody's going to listen to them because they're hundreds of billions of dollars in their accounts, right? And they're like, well, they wouldn't be saying that if it wasn't true, right? And then all of a sudden you're getting shorted. Your whole company is being shorted. Everybody's betting against you, and nothing happened. There's no evidence that any of this happened. You know what I'm saying? But they just want to get rid of your company. I'll never let Black Sands put it in a position where that can happen. You know what I mean? So even if I go into the stock market so that people can sell, it's going to be a very short-lived trip. You know, the minimum amount of time that I could be on the stock market before I can exit the stock market, that's how much it's going to be. Because I'm never going to let market forces, right, dictate whether this black-owned company survives or not. I'd rather our actual sales and our actual production be the reason why we sink or swim. Oh, yeah, Kevin Brown just said that right there. Kevin Brown, he's the writer. He's the writer of Lions Game. Part 2 is almost done, right? We're almost done with that one, right? So part 2 is almost done, man. And it's pretty lit. Part 1 was all right. Part 1 was all right, but we didn't really get to see a lot of fighting like we wanted. Part 2, you start seeing like competitions, and some of these characters are nuts. So you're gonna like it. You'll like it a lot. Hey, Oreo got the set. Got the set. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, I love you too, man. Thank you so much. This was an amazing live stream, wasn't it? This is like one of the best ones we've had. Can it be streamed to investors who can't make the opening? No, it can't. It can't. With that being said, there's no reason why we can't do something special for you guys, but most likely we can't, just because we don't want to accidentally have the movie out 2 weeks before the actual movie comes out. You know what I mean? Like that would be a disaster, right? Somebody goes and records it and puts it out on the internet, and then boom, right? Disaster. So we don't want to pirate it. So we cannot have streaming of it before the movie actually comes out. Yeah, Soto, the main thing is this, right? Only people who want that return, if people want that return fast, that's who I would give the option to. But I'm not asking for buybacks. It's just I'd rather do a buyback than open to the market. You know what I mean? Especially if Black Sands is doing great, then I can be patient. I can be patient. And in that situation, I'm going to be paying a hell of a lot of taxes, no matter what, like tens of millions of dollars in taxes. And in that situation, I can kind of game the tax system by doing buybacks, right? So I feel like, hey, I'm buying $10 million worth of shares. Who wants to sell at a $100 million valuation, right? Right? Who wants to sell at a $100 million valuation? And people are gonna be like, yeah, I'll sell, and they'll be able to cash their chips in. Remember, the original investors, the people who invested in the very first round, had a $5 million valuation. So if you bought at if you sold at $100 million valuation, you're looking at, selling at, what the hell is that? What is that? 20 times your investment? 20 times your investment. So a lot of people might just want to take that check, call it a day. It's a win. Don't ever think it's not a win. Don't be thinking like, nah, but it could be way higher later. It could, but the whole point is that's still a massive win for anybody who invested in the first round. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if the option's there and I know I'm gonna have to pay a crap load of taxes no matter what, I'd rather lower my tax burden by doing buybacks. Hey, Victoria Cooper, thank you so much. And thank you for getting the book set, man. I appreciate you all for getting the books tonight. Tonight, we had a lot of books sold. That helps me out a lot. People also signed up for Patreon. Huge benefit to me. You guys can just subscribe, man. It's like $5 a month. But a lot of people doing it makes all the wheels keep churning, right? We just keep churning. So I'm happy about that. Ja, thank you so much. New Heart said, I'm brand new to anime. However, my children and grandchildren love anime. Yep, that's how it is. Ordering comic books so I can get more familiar. You're going to love it. You're going to love it because here's the greatest thing about Black Sands, and I've always told people this, especially educators, is that the story itself, the Black Sands story itself, is cool enough for kids. So in other words, the characters are cool enough. They have enough attitude. There's enough jokes that kids will read it and think it's a really cool action adventure series. But an adult reading it will be like, this is one of the greatest political dramas I've ever read because the politics of Black Sands is freaking nuts. I mean, real ancient world politics, actual nations going against each other for real legitimate reasons, alliances existing for real legitimate reasons. Not he's my friend because, no, he's my friend because of very specific tactical reason. You know what I'm saying? And when you start seeing that, when you start seeing that educational value and you start seeing that actual storytelling with real world history, you're going to be like, this is like a whole nother product. This is like a whole nother thing than what I thought it was. I thought it was a kid's comic book. Turned out it was the Vikings in ancient Egypt. You know what I'm saying? You out here tuning in like it's Ragnar Lothbrok on the screen. Okay, someone said, but haven't. Hey, please email me again, okay? So if it got sent to the wrong place, we can re-deliver right to the right place. You just gotta pay for the shipping again. That's it. You know what I mean? But you shouldn't have to pay for the cards. So just email me again. Tonight I'm looking for emails. So if you have something wrong, tonight's the night to email me because I will be looking for it. All right. Just bought another 2 baby backs for my brother. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. How long before you premiere in the UK after US? Honestly, it might be the same time. It really depends on how fast the licenses work. But UK is not really a different market. You know what I mean? So a lot of companies that are like major companies in the US are also major companies in Canada and the UK. So you never know. I think our major partner who's in the US is also in the UK. Not sure though. So if it is, there won't be a delay. You know what I mean? I think the price per share in the last investment round was $7.17. And that was the $40 million valuation, $7.17. What's your position on donating or partnering with nonprofits? Well, I actually did a massive donation to Birmingham City Schools over the summer. I donated 12,000 books to them. I donated 12,000 books to them. They just had to pay for the shipping and handling. There's a lot of shipping and handling, obviously, right? 12,000 books. But yeah, I donated that much. And I think later on this year, I'm going to be going down there for like a tour. So I'll go down there for a tour, go and talk to the kids and give out 12,000 books. So we'll probably have like a big fair, right? Where all the kids from the entire school district and their parents show up and just grab 10, 20 books at a time. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. You know what I mean? But yeah, I gave them crazy amount of books. The reason for that is simple. I kind of only sell the collected items now. So I have a lot of excess inventory that are single issue comics that I don't really sell anymore. Like I just don't sell them. I only sell like the collected editions. So because of that, you basically give them away, get a nice tax write-off, stuff like that. But do that. So anybody who's looking for like single issue comics that are more for like organizations, right? It can't be no random person asking for it, but organizations, nonprofits, whatever, right? Who are doing programs. There's ways to get our books for very cheap, right? Very cheap. And we're talking about like $1 per book. You know what I mean? And then you just do whatever you want with it at that point. And $1 per book is like shipping and handling. So that's why it's the print cost. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So if you're looking for that, you can definitely get it from me 100%. I got plenty of them. I still got quite a bit of single issue comics available. And if you haven't noticed, I don't print single issue comics anymore. So there is no chapter 18 comic book of Black Sands. It's digital. And until I get to the next hardcover, you won't see a book, a physical book, until you see the hardcover and soft cover of the collected edition. It's just the way I do it now. What's the difference between the $5 and $20 Patreons? Mostly it's access. So a lot of times we have like meetings with $20 patrons that are not going to, like $5 patrons are not going to be invited. We have conversations on Discord sometimes with $20 patrons and stuff like that. And also, they get perks, man. They get perks. So you'll get like an earlier access. So let's say like we're doing like an investment round, right? $20 patrons will get the email first. They'll get the link first, and a couple of hours later, $5 patrons, and then a couple of days later, right, or maybe 24 hours later, our email list gets the link, right? But we always have like tiered system for who gets into investment rounds first, who gets the early bird specials. So that's the difference between $5, $20 tier. Where can I find out about the VIP tickets? The VIP tickets, you don't got to find out about it at all. We have a list of everybody who invested over $2,000. All right. We already have a list. So once we start picking a date for where we're actually going to go, right, to have it, right, we're going to have like some RSVP system where you'll be able to check in and you can get up to 4 tickets for you and your direct family. Okay. So spouse, kids, that's what we're looking at. Okay. And you'll probably have to email us if you need more than 4. If you have like 5 kids, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to say you can only bring 2, right? But we have to make accommodations for that. So just let us know, because at the end of the day, a movie theater is but so big, right? We can't fit 1 million people in there. So we have to make sure that we have enough room for everybody. But yeah, that's how it's going to work. And most likely it's going to be more like a convention day, right? It's going to be like a summit as opposed to a premiere, because we're probably going to have multiple screenings on that day, right? Because if we already filled up the room, it's not like I'm just going to say, well, we filled up the room so nobody else could see the premiere. No, it just means later on we're going to screen it again for the next group. You know what I mean? So, and in the meantime, we're going to have panels. You're going to be able to meet stars or whatever the heck's going on. Right? We're probably going to have 2 different ones too. So we're going to have one for the investors, which is going to be in the DMV area. And then we're going to have one for Hollywood. And that's going to be probably in LA. You know what I mean? So that's the one where you can see all the major celebrities and stuff, because they're like basically driving from home. They all live in LA, right? But the DMV area is going to be more for the investors, right? And the production team, stuff like that. Hey, True, thank you so much. True61. You're a long investigator. You investigated me, bro? No, I'm just messing with you. Someone said 12,000 is wild, but that's what I had, man. So at the end of the day, like this, not many people could even handle getting 12,000 books, but they have like 27,000 kids, right, in that school district, right? They have a lot of kids there, and they've already done business with me in the past, big business with me. So they've done orders. They've done like $40,000 orders with me in the past, like one order, $40,000. So someone who does business with you, you should reward them when you have opportunities, right? So I'm like, hey, I have an opportunity to donate books, and this district has done a lot of business with me in the past. So I'm going to donate a crap ton of books to them, where every kid has multiple copies of books. So they could just have a whole collection that they've never had before. Young black babies in Alabama, right? And I want that. So I'm going to give them that opportunity to do it. And if they can handle the capacity, more power to them. And that's what they did. They got their books. So they have them. They haven't distributed them yet, but they got 12,000 books ready to go. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will be like, that's a lot of money. It was gone no matter what. That's the thing a lot of people don't understand about the publishing industry. Sometimes fads change. Back in 2020, I could sell single issue comic books all day long. Nowadays, people want big ass books. They don't want single issues. They don't want single issues. And as a result, that whole genre is gone, right? Nobody goes to comic book shops like that. So at the end of the day, you got to go change with the times. And my way of changing with the times is just donating the single issues. And rather than doing like 300 here, 400 here, wouldn't it be great if you could donate to a whole district of damn near 95% black students? Right? Like the Birmingham City Schools district is like 95% black, and all the leadership is black. Like everybody who's making decisions there is black. You know? So if you could help anyone in the world, you should help them, right? You should definitely get thrown up a bone. You know, that's how I feel about it. How has it been get books? Yeah, there's plenty of libraries that have Black Sands, like a ridiculous amount of libraries that have Black Sands. So that's something that's definitely a good thing. Will it show at any parts of Asia? Most likely. Most likely we're going to have licenses out there, especially Korea and China. I think Korea and China is going to be big. I think Japan is kind of tricky. It's a little tricky because they don't like competition. But we'll see. Maybe Japan might like us. You never know. I love Chinese money, so I'm a hardcore get that money no matter what. I love China. China's like my favorite thing. All right, guys. So I think we're going to wrap up this meeting. Thank you guys so much. I hope I really educated you guys on what's going on with the Black Sands anime. I hope you feel fulfilled, right? Because I hate when people go out there and they invest in something and then the person disappears off the face of the earth and they feel like they were robbed. You know, they feel like they got scammed. So I never want any of you guys to ever question whether this is really happening or not. So I hope today I answered a lot of questions and I showed enough content where you guys feel like this is 100% dead set in production and moving forward. And there's no way in hell we're going to stop until this is completely finished. You said we don't got no money problems, so we ain't chasing money right now. Nothing. Everything's going according to plan and things are looking pretty smooth. So I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I hope you guys had all your questions answered. People who didn't get their investors cards or the investors cards went to the wrong location, email me. All you got to do is respond to the emails I send you. All right. So I send everybody emails. So just respond to that. Or if you don't got that, message me on my store. Right. So go to blacksands.com and click that little chat button. That's me. That ain't nobody else. That's me. So Click on the chat button. It might look like AI answer, but it's because they summarize what I said. So somebody said like this the other day. They were like, hey, where could I start reading? And I was like, well, yeah, the first book of Black Sands would probably be a good option. That's not very articulate, right? It's just a sentence, but it's not very articulate. The damn whatever AI they have in Shopify is dope as hell, though. What they do is, if I say something like, oh yeah, the first book of Black Sands is good, they'll just totally erase what I said, and they'll be like, what you're looking for is Black Sands Ultimate Volume 1. It is valued at $20 and is the beginning of the series of the Black Sands. So if you like that, here's a link to the product. And I'm like, well, shit, that's way better than what I would have said. So I press enter. But make no mistake, it won't say anything unless I already wrote something in there. Okay? So 100%, when you press that chat button, it's me responding to you, but they're cleaning it up. They're cleaning it up and making it nice and professional. Everything else. So it's just a fun time, man. So I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you had a great night. I guess I'll talk to you again before MIPCOM and see if we got that trailer, right? That's the next big thing I got to do. Make that trailer. But if we got a dope trailer, man, we're going to print money. Print money. Somebody said, when's the next investment round? There ain't no next investment round. Not until the next movie. All right, so if you ain't make it in, join that patron list and make sure you in the next one. Just being honest, these things don't last long, and the opportunities are very seldom, very short. All right, see y'all later. Peace.